The only thing we have to fear is fear itself. Remember always that all of us, and you and I especially, are descended from immigrants and revolutionists. I ask you to judge me by the enemies I have made. When you come to the end of your rope, tie a knot and hang on. We cannot always build the future for our youth, but we can build our youth for the future. The test of our progress is not whether we add more to the abundance of those who have much, it is whether we provide enough for those who have too little. A nation that destroys its soils destroys itself. Forests are the lungs of our land, purifying the air and giving fresh strength to our people. Courage is not the absence of fear, but rather the assessment that something else is more important than fear. I'm not the smartest fellow in the world, but I can sure pick smart colleagues. To reach a port we must set sail a sail, not tie at anchor sail, not drift. Democracy cannot succeed unless those who express their choice are prepared to choose wisely. The real safeguard of democracy, therefore, is education. The only limit to our realization of tomorrow will be our doubts of today. Let us move forward with strong and active faith. Happiness is not in the mere possession of money, it lies in the joy of achievement, in the thrill of creative effort. Happiness lies in the joy of achievement and the thrill of creative effort. A smooth sea never made a skilled sailor. If you treat people right, they will treat you right. 90% of the time. There are many ways of going forward, but only one way of standing still. Presidents are selected, not elected. It is common sense to take a method and try it. If it fails, admit it frankly and try another. But above all, try something. Men are not prisoners of fate, but only prisoners of their own minds. Be sincere, be brief, be seated. A conservative is a man with two perfectly good legs who, however, has never learned to walk forward. We have always known that heedless self-interest was bad morals. We now know that it is bad economics. Repetition does not transform a lie into a truth. It isn't sufficient just to want, you've got to ask yourself what you are going to do to get the things you want. In these days of difficulty, we Americans everywhere must and shall choose the path of social justice, the path of faith, the path of hope, and the path of love toward our fellow man. Human kindness has never weakened the stamina or softened the fiber of a free people. A nation does not have to be cruel to be tough. Better the occasional faults of a government that lives in a spirit of charity than the consistent omissions of a government frozen in the ice of its own indifference. War is young men dying and old men talking. Great power involves great responsibility. I think we consider too much the luck of the early bird and not enough the bad luck of the early worm. We cannot always build a future for our youth, but we can always build our youth for the future. You are only an extra in everyone else's play. In the truest sense, freedom cannot be bestowed, it must be achieved. Organized money hates me and I welcome their hatred. Taxes, after all, are dues that we pay for the privileges of membership in an organized society. In politics, nothing happens by accident. If it happens, you can bet it was planned that way. We and all others who believe in freedom as deeply as we do, would rather die on our feet than live on our knees. I love it, I just love it. Physical strength can never permanently withstand the impact of spiritual force. Never underestimate a man who overestimates himself. The essence of our struggle is that men shall be free. Some people can never understand that you have to wait, even for the best of things, until the right time comes. Do something. If it works, do more of it. If it doesn't, do something else. It is fun to be in the same decade with you. Roosevelt to Churchill. It's a terrible thing to look over your shoulder when you are trying to lead and to find no one there. As a nation, we may take pride in the fact that we are soft-hearted, but we cannot afford to be soft-headed. There is a mysterious cycle in human events. To some generations much is given. Of other generations much is expected. Cooperation, which is the thing we must strive for today, begins where competition leaves off. The nation that destroys its soil destroys itself.